Perception of the agreeable arises from attachment. Perception of the disagreeable arises from attachment. A devotee has no personal attachment to anything. Therefore, for him there is no question of agreeable or disagreeable. For the service of the Lord, he can accept anything, even though it may be disagreeable to his personal interest. In fact, he is completely free from the personal interest, and thus anything agreeable to the Lord is agreeable to him. For example, for Arjuna, at first fighting was not agreeable, but when he understood that the fighting was agreeable to the Lord, he accepted the fighting as agreeable. That is the position of a pure devotee. For his personal interest, there is nothing which is agreeable or disagreeable. Everything is done for the Lord, and therefore he is free from attachment and detachment. That is the transcendental stage of neutrality. A pure devotee enjoys life in the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Because of his transcendental intelligence, pure devotee is equipoised in his vision and sees himself to be uncontaminated by matter. We all, spirit souls, being Amsha of Krishna. Krishna in the Gita says, Mamaiv Amsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. In our pure form, being Amsha of the Lord, we are same in quality with the Lord. Here it is said, he feels himself elevated to the transcendental platform of being equal in qualities with the Supreme Lord. So in our pure stage as spirit soul, we are same in quality with the Lord. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. But because we have Ichha and Dvesha, Ichha Dvesha Samuddhena Dvanda Mohena Bharata. Because we have selfish desires to be the bhokta, to be the enjoyer, to be the Lord, to be the master, to be the well-wisher of other living entities. We have selfish desires, and Lord has facilitated this material world where we get an opportunity to fulfill these desires. Somebody asked me this question, if Lord is all kind, Lord is all merciful, then why has He created this world which He Himself declares as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam? He is all kind, He is all loving, He is our Father. Which father would like his child to suffer? So why do we have a place where there's a lot of misery, lot of pain, lot of suffering, which Krishna himself declares? It's Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Just like when city planning happens, planning for a city happens, or a town happens, town planning committee happens. They plan the town, okay, this is the place reserved for garden, reserved for school, reserved for hospital. Various amenity, this is a place reserved for market. Invariably in the planning, they reserve place for a police station and also some kind of a prison house, jail. Because when the planning is done, it is understandable that some people will take law in their own hands. Now when someone takes law in his own hands, in other words, becomes a criminal, rebels against the laws, does not want to follow the laws, creates nuisance in the society. Predominantly speaking, government has two broad choices. One is that they can make them stand in a line and with a AK-47 shoot them all down. But what government does is, no, being merciful, let's give them an opportunity to reform. And while they are giving they take them through a path where some reformation happens through punishment, through various kind of other interventions. They are, so to say, put in an area which is called the prison house, so that they don't create nuisance for other law-abiding citizens. And every state, every country, be it a developed country, undeveloped country, there is a concept of a prison house, a jail. Because it is expected, it is understandable that some people will rebel or will not follow the laws. So the reason why we are in this material world is that we have ichha, we have dvesha, we are envious of the Lord, we have a lot of material desires. And because of that, Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shashta indriyani. Because we have various material desires, we want to gratify our senses, seek pleasure independent of the Lord through our mind and senses. Krishna says, Mana shashta indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. We are waging a fierce battle with this material nature. We are trying to push back material nature. Material nature which is imposing a lot of restrictions, a lot of misery, which we don't want. We are trying by various ways to push back the material nature, to defeat the material nature, to win over material nature, to win over the material laws. But prakriti sthani karshati, we are waging a battle. Battle means there are two forces. So here we have material nature which is imposing restrictions, birth, death, old age, disease, and the living entity wants to push back, wants to not get defeated. But ultimately we know in that battle the living entity loses. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Even if somebody is very shrewd, very this thing, ultimately he has to lose the battle, he has to die. So pure devotee of the Lord, who is in knowledge, who is full of wisdom, understands the root cause of all misery. In fact, Buddha also made this statement, the root cause of our suffering is desires. And solution to come to a state which is free of misery is to annihilate or to destroy or to finish or to vanquish all desires. Which is not the correct understanding what Bhagavatam is giving. We cannot be desireless. The goal of human form of life is not to be like a stone, inert, have no desires, just sit in one place doing nothing. That is not something which is interesting, which is not possible also. Not to have a desire is also a kind of a desire. To be desireless is a desire. So a pure devotee who is in knowledge understands that the root cause of our suffering is material desire. What is material desire? Material desire is we want to satisfy our own mind and the senses. I and mind, rooted in I and mine. My country, my family, my society, my body, my interest, my happiness, my pleasure. That is material desire. And spiritual desire is desire to satisfy or please the Supreme Lord. So understanding that root cause of our misery, our entanglement in this material world is ichcha. Ichcha means material desires. Desire to enjoy independent of Lord, desire to enjoy our own senses. A pure devotee is completely purified of material desires and is full of spiritual desires. He doesn't annihilate desires. He doesn't become. That's why our Shastra says, Anya abhilashita shunya. Shunya means zero. That is what even Buddha said, zero. Annihilate all desires, make all desires zero. But here it is said, not just shunya, anya abhilashita shunya, desire other than the desires to please the Lord. Desires other than the desires which are aligned with the Lord. Just like in the battle of Kurukshetra, here Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, Arjuna had a desire not to fight. Krishna also had a desire that Arjuna should fight. Now when Arjuna's desire got completely aligned with Krishna's desires, which is to fight the battle, it's a spiritual desire. Even though apparently it looks what Arjuna was saying, Arjuna was desiring, morally, ethically, was very right. Why kill unnecessarily? Why kill for my own selfish motive of having a kingdom? Although apparently, logically, it looks quite sound. Dynasty will be lost, women will become unchaste, Varna Shankara will be born, I will be the cause of all this ruination. For my selfish desire of getting a kingdom, better for me to beg and eat. All this looks quite, logically correct. But in the second chapter, Krishna says, how come these impurities have come upon you? So pure devotee is uncontaminated by matter. He is having pure desires. And the desire is to please the Supreme Lord. Now somebody may say, to serve the Supreme Lord, to satisfy the desires of the Supreme Lord, is this not some kind of selfishness for your own interest? You're also doing bhakti for your own interest, for your emancipation, for your purification. It's also selfish. Prabhupada was once asked, Swamiji, are you a humanitarian? Humanitarian means those who are objective is to serve humanity, serve the mankind, to uplift the mankind. So Prabhupada said, we have nothing to do with humanitarianism. So it was quite, in that sense, shocking. Somebody would hear this, nothing to do with, because it is expected a good man is supposed to be kind, should be generous, should be helpful, help others. So in that sense it was shocking. Then Prabhupada explains that we want to simply serve Krishna. Again it looks fanatical. I have nothing to do. A beggar is there in the street, somebody is suffering, somebody is not having food to eat. Nothing to do. We just want to serve Krishna. Light some agarbatti and offer Krishna. So then Prabhupada explains, everyone is connected to Krishna, is part and parcel of Krishna. So pure devotee serves everyone with the understanding that they are Krishna's. Another example is given, just like when a woman gets married, she predominantly establishes a connection with the husband. And because of that one connection, she automatically gets connected to all the family members. Husband's brothers, husband's mother, husband's father, brothers, sisters, all their relatives gets connected. So likewise, a pure devotee of the Lord, when he wants to serve the interest of the Lord, he wants to serve, but with the right understanding, in knowledge. Prabhupada says when a person is drowning and you save that person, you get hold of his dress and the main person is washed away by water, actually it is not. You have not really saved the person. So even Bhagavatam says, yes, a devotee is very compassionate. Dharma sarthaka, janma sarthaka kari karopakar. But karopakar, just intent is not enough. The intent to help others is not enough. It has to be backed with knowledge, which a pure devotee has. He is also in that sense serving the humanity, but may not be in the way which people understand as service. Sometimes in the name of serving you can make the problem worse. For example, let's say a person goes to visit a friend in ICU and the friend shares that, it's so painful, he's going through a lot of trauma, and on top of this doctors are giving him a bland diet, only boiled vegetables 2 times in a day, and when the person speaks all his difficulties, you feel compassion. Wait a minute, I'll get something for you. And then go out and get some very exotic items. Now intent is right to help the person who is suffering, who is in agony, who is not having the right food to eat. But then by helping him, if not backed with proper knowledge, we can do disservice to him and aggravate his problem. This is a crude example. So in that sense, a devotee is genuinely serving the society, is a great humanitarian because he serves humanity with the right understanding why the humanity is suffering. It is not that things have gone out of his control. He understands why people are suffering. What is the root cause of the suffering? And with that understanding, what is the best solution to elevate the suffering humanity? With that knowledge, he serves the humanity. And when he serves also, he understands that he is not the well-wisher of the humanity. He is not paropakar. He is not the one who is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He understands that actual Suhridam Sarvabhutanam is Krishna, and he is just a mere instrument. When he thinks like that, when he serves the Lord, when he serves humanity with that understanding, pride doesn't touch him. He is uncontaminated by matter because he is selflessly serving the Supreme Lord with the right understanding. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Mumbai, he used to travel to Pune also. There was a gentleman by name Mr. Malhotra, and whenever Prabhupada would travel to Pune, so Mr. Malhotra would always be with Prabhupada and take him in his car wherever Prabhupada had to go. So in that sense, he was very fortunate to spend a lot of time with Srila Prabhupada. So one time, while he was with Prabhupada, traveling in the car, going to some particular place, so Malhotra ji very reluctantly asked Prabhupada ji, can I ask you one question? I have this doubt for a long time. I was reluctant. Can I ask you? So Prabhupada said, yes, sure. So he said, I have heard that you are building a huge, big marble temple, costly temple in Juhu, Bombay. Those days, 70s, Prabhupada was building the temple in Juhu. I've heard this, you are building a huge temple, marble temple for Krishna in Juhu, Bombay. Is there anywhere written in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, build a marble temple for me? Is there anywhere Krishna is demanding, build a costly temple for me? On one side we see there's a lot of poverty, people are dying of hunger, starvation, No proper food, no proper clothing, no proper shelter, no proper housing. People don't have water to drink. Other side, you are building. How is it justified? Okay, it may be justified if Krishna demands, build a costly temple for me. He's also not asking. He's saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toya. He's saying, give me one water and leaf, and why build costly temple? So Prabhupada explained, just like if you go to a rich man's house and maybe in some other country, and he's the host and you stay in his house, and 7-10 days during your stay, the whole family was very excellent in their hospitality, took great efforts to, make you comfortable, cook the best of things to serve you, and take great care. In other words, it was a very, very pleasant stay. And during that stay, you interact with the family members, get to know the child, son, daughter, everyone. And then you come back. Let's say after a year, you happen to see the son of that rich man in whose house you have stayed in the street. Almost like a beggar, tattered clothes, no food to eat, dirty, like an urchin. And somehow you are very sure that this is the same person son of the same rich man whom you had stayed in their house for 7-10 days. You had interacted with this boy. And somehow you are very sure. So broadly speaking, there are 3 options which a person can choose from. Option number 1, it is his karma, nothing to do with me, just walk away. Maybe some misunderstanding would have happened. What have I to do with it? Okay, that life will take its own course. Just walk away. Do nothing about it. Do not even see in that direction. What if he recognizes and calls you? Why get into trouble? Sometimes it happens, accident happens, just walk away. Otherwise, unnecessarily, you'll get involved. So option number 1, just do nothing, look the other side and walk away. Option number 2, he doesn't have proper clothes, he doesn't have proper food, he is in the street. So because you're indebted for the good hospitality they have extended during the stay, so you are obligated. So what we do is go to the store, buy the best of food, some couple of pairs of dress, and go and give him all that. At least, 2-3 days so that there is no shortage. Give him some food, give him some clothes, and have the satisfaction that, some element of we have, our obligation is fulfilled. For the good work, what they have done, the service they have done, I have done my bit, small bit, humble self, I have done. So this is option 2. Option 3 is, you go to the person, you introduce yourself, he recognizes you and you recognize, ascertain that he is son of so and so person, double check. After it is done, you invite him and somehow convince him to come with you to your home. And in your home, after making him comfortable, after he takes his bath, changes to fresh clothes, making him comfortable, strike a conversation and try to understand as to why did he leave his house. And moment you stop talking, he'll start, no, my father is so this thing, he this thing, that thing, I don't want to stay with him, he's so rash, he scolds for small things, he's very lauding tendencies, I just left my house. All that will come up, all that anger and hatred against the father. So hear him out, everything, and then he says, looks like there has been some misunderstanding. Because remember, when I stayed there, your father was so kind, the whole family is so good. I have first-hand experience of that. Maybe what you're saying is true, but then looks like there is some communication gap, some misunderstanding has crept in. And then, after having won his confidence, after having heard him out, whatever he had to share, tried to, so to say, the good sense in him, prevail the good sense in him that how his father actually is a good person. He's a nice person. Just that maybe you have misunderstood. Maybe even if he was harsh, it was for your good. Even if he was scolding, maybe it's for your good. Maybe could possible that he starts looking from another perspective. And when he's in a mood where he is listening and is able to, see things differently, then somehow convince him it's not good that you have left home. I'm sure your father also will be very disturbed. I'm sure he must be in anxiety. He must be very pained when he heard that you are leaving the home. So somehow, when the good sense prevails in him, call the father and tell him that your son is here. Now you don't have to say that I am bringing your son there. The father will say, wait. He's so eager to meet his son. He says, wait, keep him there. I'm coming. Next flight he'll catch and come. So of the three options, if we analyze, the option number 3 is best, because once you connect him with his rich father against whom he has rebelled and left the house, and because of which he is in the streets, not having food to eat, not having clothes to wear, if he is connected with his rich father, if he goes back home, then the problem of feeding him and giving him clothes does not even arise. Not for tomorrow, not for day after tomorrow. Permanently we have solved this problem of food, clothing, shelter, everything. So what a devotee is doing is, when it comes to serving the humanity, a lot of people misunderstand. You're building temples, costly temples. What are you doing for humanity? Even sometimes we may get a feeling we are building huge projects, 600 crores, 700 crores. On one side, people are dying of hunger, people are not having proper clothing. How is it justified? So we have to understand that the Lord is all kind, the Lord is all powerful. I was hearing yesterday, there was one lecture, there was one Christian pastor. He was going out for a walk, maybe for buying something for the church, with his small little son, 2-year-old baby, in a pram, in that. Unfortunately, the place they were passing through, there was some street fight. Two gangs, sometimes there's a rivalry and they start firing. Unfortunately, in that street fight between the two gangs, notorious gangs, they found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. And while that shooting was on, a bullet came and hit that small little child, 2-year-old, and he was killed on spot. So this man, after seeing this, he was a pastor, preaching, giving sermons in the church. 2-year-old son dying right in front of his eyes, for no fault of his. After seeing the whole thing in front of his eyes, he started questioning the very foundation of fundamentals of Christianity. The fundamentals of Christianity is based on 3 principles: that God is omnipotent, He's all powerful. There is no power in this world which is more powerful than God. He's all powerful. There is no force, there is no power, there is nothing which is more powerful than the Lord. This is omnipotent. The Lord is omniscient. He is all-knowing. He knows the past, He knows the present, He knows the future. He knows who is going to fight with whom, who is going to shoot the bullet when. He knows everything. And the third principle is He is all kind. He is very loving. So because he was going through trauma, he started thinking with what he had experienced, his son dying, 2-year-old baby, for no fault of his, innocent child dying, he started thinking and questioning the very fundamentals of Christianity. And he says, it is not possible that all three statements are true simultaneously. One of them has to be wrong. So he started rationalizing. If God is all powerful, if we accept this statement, He is all powerful, and He is all knowing, He knows everything, then maybe this statement that He is all kind, all loving is not true. Because if He is all powerful, everything was within His control. There was no power. Even if you call there is Satan and there is, Shaitan and all evil forces are there which somehow sometimes rise up, adharma rises, all that. But He's all powerful. Then He's not all kind. Therefore you see this innocent child got killed for no fault of His. Or if you think that He is all kind, He is all merciful, He is very loving, then maybe He is not omniscient, He is all powerful, but maybe He is not omniscient, He is busy in His spiritual world, lot of matters, He is God, somehow this is God neglected. Things went out of His control. Or the third statement, if He is all kind, He is all knowing, He knows past, present, future, maybe He is not all powerful. Maybe things have gone out of His control. He created this world with all good intentions. Now different forces have become more powerful. Just like, now Congress has become powerful. So suddenly, some forces, some evil forces have become more powerful, and now He has resigned and He is also gone. Things have gone out of His control. So he started very deeply questioning. On one side we say God is all kind, all powerful, omniscient, all knowing. Then why this has happened? Whereas Shastras, they very emphatically say that yes, God is all knowing. Yes, God is all kind. Yes, God is all powerful. So Bhagavad Gita, that's why if we don't have complete knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, which gives in complete detail of why this world is created, what is the intent. On our own, with our own intelligence, using our own analytical skills, we cannot comprehend, we cannot fathom what is the intent, what is the purpose, why this world is created, why good things are happening to bad people, bad things are happening to good people. That's why seeing all this happening in this world, many people actually become atheists. They say, where is your God? There is no God. Actually, the problem is not with God, the problem is not with this creation, the problem is that we have no proper understanding. Why this world is created, why the God who is all kind, all powerful, all knowing, why there is suffering in this world? Is He a sadist that people are suffering and ha 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 ha, He's enjoying? Chalo, maro. Acha hai. Yes, there are people who are sadists, they get kick when they see others suffering. There are people like that called sadists. When others suffer, when others are in pain, when others wriggle in pain, it gives them enjoyment. So is God a sadist that He has created this world where old age is there, diseases are, death is there, and then people are suffering, and then He is there in the spiritual world having a good time? So it's very bewildering. But for a pure devotee, it's not bewildering. He is in complete knowledge. And because he is in knowledge, a pure devotee enjoys life in pleasure of the Supreme Lord. He is surrendered to the Supreme Lord in knowledge. He is completely agreeable to the Lord. Here Prabhupada says, perception of disagreeable arises from attachment. Because he has no material attachment, he is attached to the Lord. He is completely in alignment with the Lord. His desires are the desires of the Lord. Whatever is pleasing to the Lord is pleasing to him, even though it may be displeasing to his mind and body. So what we are trying to do in our practice of Krishna consciousness, when we are trying to become devotees, right now we are go dasa, we are servants of our mind and body. What is pleasing to the mind, body and senses is what we are aspiring for. To become a devotee or a pure devotee of the Lord is, irrespective of what is pleasing to my body and mind, I will do what is pleasing to the Lord. Like getting up early in the morning, sadhana bhakti. It may not be pleasing to the body and mind, but we know that it is pleasing to, Prabhupada has said that he has instituted this sadhana program. I will do it, even though it may not be pleasing to me. So gradually when we follow this process, the process of sadhana bhakti, purification ensues. And what happens when we become pure? Then here it says, uncontaminated by matter. Right now we are contaminated by matter. We have attachments. We have material desires. And he elevates to the transcendental platform of being equal in quality. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochyati na kangshati. He becomes Brahma bhuta. He becomes happy, he becomes joyful. So in that sense, Prabhupada, when he said that no, we have nothing to do with humanitarianism, it doesn't mean that a devotee is callous. He is just interested, yes, I am there, Krishna is there, I don't care of anyone else. He serves the humanity, serves Krishna in knowledge. Just like I gave the example of a rich man's son. Somebody may say, okay, you are building a temple, but then it's mainly for rich people. You know, we see a lot of rich people coming. What are you doing for poor people? Actually, if a person is in knowledge, he realizes that everyone in this material world is suffering, rich or poor. We in illusion, we in Maya think that poor man is suffering because he does not have food to eat, he doesn't have a proper place to stay. He cannot send his son to school, so he's suffering. And a rich man, you see, he has a car, he has a Bentley car, he has, living in a palatial house, he has servants, therefore he's happy. A pure devotee who is out of Maya, whose vision is perfect, who is enlightened, he sees that in this material world, everyone is suffering. Rich people are suffering in rich conditions. Poor people are suffering in poor conditions. Both are suffering. That's why Prabhupada, when he went to the West, even before he reached the US, in the Jaladuta diary, he writes, "Oh Lord, why are you taking me to a miserable place?" When we go to the West, all hopes are there. Now I'm going to a wonderland. I'll go to Disney World, full of happiness, full of bliss. Prabhupada, because he was in knowledge, he's saying, why you are taking me to a misery? He could see the skyscrapers, advanced, big roads, all amenities, spick and span infrastructure. Why are you taking me to a miserable place? So that is the difference between people like us and a pure devotee. They're uncontaminated by matter, completely aligned with the interest of the Lord, anya bilashita shunya. And because they are in that stage, they are in a transcendental platform and equal in qualities with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, by following the instructions, by treading the path which they have shown, we also have a hope that one day, when we also become unconditioned, uncontaminated with all these base qualities, we can also experience what a pure devotee experiences. Directly in company of the Lord, enjoying the bliss of Here it says, a devotee enjoys life in the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, we are like beggars, like a beggar, just begging for alms, some broken pieces of some chapatis. Likewise, we are like beggars, begging for happiness. And what we get is small, small tits and bits here and there. In contrast, what we are eligible for, what we are entitled for, what we can actually experience is a constant bliss in association with the Supreme Lord. Because of our own material desires, because of own material attachments, we have got disconnected from the Lord. And this process of sadhana bhakti which Srila Prabhupada is giving us is helping us to connect back to our rich Father. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.